Hey CUF, this is Jacob, and my goodbye and thank you. I'd like to start off by saying that I am the only born Smith child that was born at CUF. So, this place really means a lot to me. And first off, I'd like to thank Miss Sandy Allen for the delicious treats she would give us at Polo Park and a little bit in the school. And that's mainly my best memory when I was a young child. And onto the school, I had some pretty good memories at the school. I would go play in the desert, which was just the sand in the back, and I'd just explore all over the place. And my best memory at the school was Miss Janet Pike's bologna sandwiches. And I would just go to town on those right before the Saturday night service. I'd eat like 10 of them. And onto the building, and I'd like to thank all the staff kids at the building. And we just had we do the most random things, but yet fun. Like chair jousting. All that stuff happened while the services were going on. We'd chair joust, we'd fly these kites with really thick rope. And also, I'd like to thank Miss Moore for her donuts that she has given me for the past 4 years at the building every single Sunday morning. And also the youth group. Special thanks to you guys for making a home for me here. And, mainly Chris, he's been my youth director for the last 2 years, and, we just had a lot of fun. And all my friends who I've met in your youth group, and even some before. And last, I'd like to thank just all the people at CUF who, cared for me. I have people come to me all the time and say, when you're just, 2 years old, I held you in my arms, and it means the most to me. So, thank you, CF, for the greatest times I've had.
Yeah.
It's funny, I know how far things are in your life, the more important they are to you. School's 20 minutes away, work's 15, but CUF is 7 minutes away. And it's those 7 minutes that I like to go to a place that I love going to. So I thought it'd be appropriate if I mentioned the 7 things I love the most about CUF. Number 1, that's being the youth group. The youth group has molded me into an individual who's hardworking, a little bit on the rule-bending side, has a lot of creativity, and he's a quirky individual. And it's these experiences that deepen my faith and take me on this journey until no matter where I go, I can take these experiences with me. Number 2, I thought it'd be nice if I mentioned all the free food that CUF's given me. It's really helped on my tummy, maybe not on the weight side, but oh well. Number 3, I love going out in the community and the random parts of the community, like Chick-fil-A, the bank, or school, and just see people who've been to the service, and it was like, hey, how was service this weekend? What do you think about it? I love seeing them because CUF is growing in this community so much, no matter where I go, someone from CUF is there. Number 4, and that's worship. Number 4 is I've been to a lot of churches because my mom doesn't make us miss a church Sunday, no matter what. So I've been to a lot of other churches with different worship styles. I have to say CUF's band is number 1. There's no other church band I've ever met that's been better than CUF, and I guess that means a lot because I'm a teenager and I really deepened my faith in that. Number 5, as I've grown, CUF's grown with me. You could say as a baby, we were at Polo Park and we were just gaining a couple experiences, learning a couple of things about CUF, and it's really cool because as we went to the school, you gain more experiences. You get a better understanding of who you are, and that's more like my teenage years. I can really see the church adopt different ways. And finally, we're in the building. We're like a young adult. We have what we know we want to go to, the goals and everything we met, and we can finally go to those goals. And it's really cool to see that. Number 6, no matter how long you've been going to CUF, you're like family here. It's something about CUF. There's some flair about CUF, whether that be the smiles, the colors, or probably the people. It just feels like family. And number 7 is CUF is more like a getaway. It's a way to just get away from life and see God's glory and see everything He has for us, and that's what I really like about CUF. Thank you.
Hey CUF. So I guess it's my turn to say thank you to y'all. I've grown up in the church and I've seen the church grow up as well. It's been kind of cool to see how we've all kind of done this thing together. Both in my spiritual life, through camp and mission trips and different experiences with y'all, and coming to church every weekend. It's really helped me grow in my life. and with the constant guidance of everyone in the church. From just saying hi to me to having an in-depth discussion during youth group. It's all been a way I've grown. But I've also met some of my best friends ever. We're all going up to Florida State next year, or Tallahassee, trying to room together, so that's all really exciting. And I've been really grateful for all the adults who've ever helped out in the youth group. Whether in the past or even now, y'all have all made an impact on me and who I've become today. And so I wanted to thank y'all for all having that part in my life. Short and sweet.
Hey COF, so it's my turn to say thanks, and I've got a lot of thanks that I'm going to say this weekend in worship, and I don't want to repeat myself or have y'all show up on Sunday and go, I've already heard that. But I do need to tell you thank you for all that you've meant to me over the last 15 years. I'm sitting on this bench. This is a bench that's pretty important to me. It's a bench from the chapel at camp. A few years ago, they remodeled the camp chapel, and they were selling off the benches, and so we purchased one. But because of who I am and my connections, I got a special bench. I requested a certain bench, actually. This is the bench that sat second from the back on the left-hand side, because it's where I always sat when I was the team leader. It's where my wife and I probably sat during worship when she wasn't my wife yet. It's where I sat when I showed up at camp to preach, and when I would sneak up to camp to kind of pray and think about life, it's where I would sit. I know I sat here at some point and thought about going in the ministry, and I know in 1997 I probably sat on this bench and thought about what are they doing sending me to the middle of nowhere to start a church. And sitting on this bench and envisioning and praying and thinking about, God, what's going to happen, what are you going to do, and what about my family? And so it's appropriate, I guess, that I sit here on this bench and I tell you thank you. Thank you for loving my family as your family. Thank you for all that you have done to treat my family not as the clergy family. My kids haven't been preachers' kids. My wife hasn't been the pastor's wife. They've simply been the Smiths. And I can't thank you enough for that. I can't thank you enough for creating a community, a church that they want to attend, that I don't have to drag them or beg them or pay them to show up for worship, but they actually want to come and be part of it. So thank you for that. I want to thank you because only one Smith kid, as he's pointed out, was born here, and only one Smith kid was baptized here. But all of them have had you be faithful to their baptismal vows. You have lived your lives in such a way that all three of my boys have been confirmed here at COF. And that's a unique privilege to say they've all grown up in the same church. They've all encountered Christ. They've all made decisions. They've all been growing into the men who God has shaped them to be because you've loved them. You've surrounded them with a community. You've poured yourself into them, and I am eternally grateful for that. And if they turn out poorly, I'm going to blame you for falling apart on the job, because it certainly wouldn't be my issue. They don't have my problems. It would be your problems. But moving on, I also want to thank you just for letting me be your pastor. It's been a lot of fun. And I will talk a lot about that this weekend. I know this is a video where they wanted me to tell you thanks. There aren't enough words in the English language for me to tell you thank you. There aren't enough, just not enough words to say how much y'all mean to me. So thanks.
Hey COF, it's really hard to believe that our time together is coming to a close, but I wanted to let you know a little bit about how I felt about everybody. It's been kind of amazing to grow up as a young woman to a, well, I don't want to say it's middle-aged woman right now, but you know, I came here and I was a parent of little babies through our parent Bible studies that we had and our play groups and taking our kids to preschool. Those women and those families really helped grow me and grow my children, and which is kind of amazing to think about. My kids haven't had 2 sets of grandparents. They've had 100 grandparents. You have loved my children. You have taken care of them. You fussed at them. It's instead of taking it to village, it's really taken a COF to raise our family, and we are so very grateful about how you have loved us, how you've loved me, how you've taken care of my babies. They really wouldn't be the people that they are today, and I know that's probably the most important thing to me, is how you have loved my family. Lots of little things. You're always there in very small little ways and whatever you've needed. I'm very, very grateful. John Anderson, a shout out to you for giving me my butterfly garden supplies. Whenever I've needed help, whenever I needed laughs, or my small group, my Sunday evening small group. Our small groups that have happened before it. We've had a variety of small groups. They've always been such a blessing to us, and I'm so very grateful for the way that you've influenced me, the way that you've shown me God, the way that I've seen miracles happen. We've laughed and cried through birth and through life and through growth. And I want to thank you.
We certainly want to say thank you and goodbye. We don't like saying goodbye, so we'll say farewell, and hope things fare well here at Community of Faith and in the Four Corners area. May you continue to live by faith, be known by love, and be a voice of hope in this world. Caleb?
Peace out, Cub Scout.
See you later.
We'll miss you. Bye-bye.
Peace out, COF. See ya.